Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Saturday Cars and Coffee with me, Kenny Brown. For over the next hour or so, we're going to be talking a little tech, answer your questions, and I've got a couple of interesting things to talk to you about today. If you are on Facebook or having trouble with Facebook, go to our YouTube channel. There seems to be some issues with Facebook recently. So like I say, if you're on Facebook and you're having a problem, switch over to our YouTube channel where everything should be okay there. So what do we got for today? Well, let's see. We're going to talk alignment. We've had a number of questions come in on alignment specs. So I'm going to talk some alignment specs today. Subject called ditch the Hydroboost. We had in one of our customers' cars is racing in American Iron X in NASA in the 99 Cobra. A really badass motor. Has really been struggling with the Hydroboost. Either has brakes or steering. Sometimes he has both. Sometimes he has only one. So we ditched the Hydroboost. We switched that all over to manual. I'll show that coming up here in a minute. Let's see. We've got Transform Your Driving Experience Workshop coming up. Also, if you have some other questions on pinion angle, what do you do with pinion angle? So we're going to talk about what pinion angle should be and why it should be. And then, of course, I will answer your questions live. So if you do have questions, please send them in, and I'll do my best to answer them if I can. And we've got some pretty decent questions today. So I've got to remember, you can send the questions in live or through the Speech Therapy Society, Kenny Brown Speech Therapy Society. If you're not a member, please think about joining. There's a lot of really like-minded people there. I think you enjoy the camaraderie. There's a lot of people share a lot of stuff. So what should we start with? I know what we're going to start with. We're going to start with what I left off last week. Now, last week, somebody asked about if there's a larger saddle tank for the S197 Mustangs. And the answer, unfortunately, is no. In fact, there isn't even a fuel cell for the saddle tank. And I was saying, the only thing to do is just, cut the back of the car out and put a fuel cell in. But then somebody reminded me that, they have spare tire fuel cells. So, yeah, I said I would get some information, and I have some information. So let me load up my PowerPoint. Okay. Just in case you missed it, this is live Cars and Coffee with me, Kenny Brown, your gracious host for the next little bit, answering your questions. Okay, this is a spare tire. It drops in the spare tire well in the back of a car, and they call it the Enduro system. And it holds 11.5 gallons, which is quite a bit. And the only thing is you have to work out how to get the fuel from the spare tank into your regular fuel tank. That's typically done with a pump, but that's something you'd have to sort out yourself. But this is what the typical fuel cell looks like. You've got what they call the can. It's either aluminum or steel, and then you've got the cell itself inside. It's ballistic proof cell, and then inside of that you've got all this foam, which keeps the gas from sloshing around. That's why fuel cells are so good in racing, because the gas doesn't slosh around. You get all this marvelous foam that kind of keeps it in place. So that's where, and get back to, okay, so that's on the fuel cell. I mean, you get 16 gallons. I think Mustang has an extra 11.5 to it. That's what, 60-70% more fuel. So if you're doing endurance racing, that would go a long ways. And the thing about endurance racing is the key to endurance racing is making laps. It's making laps. Anytime you're sitting in the pits, you're not making laps. So if you can knock out a couple, 3 pit stops by having more fuel on board, then you're going to make more laps. So anyway, that's the answer to last week's question. Now, coming up on this week's question, something else people asked about is how to set pinion angle. Okay, I use a couple of props here. Radius rods. We got a ton of these around here. We use them in a lot of things. Our control arms, our panel bars, the K-link, all uses radius rods. Okay, so let's say what you want to do, you want to have opposite angles from the transmission and the rear end. So let's say this is your transmission, and it's pointing, let's say, 3 degrees down, okay? If it's pointing 3 degrees down, then you would want your differential to point 3 degrees up. Now, if they point exactly the same, what happens is the drive shaft will turn into a jump rope. If they point the same, again, jump rope. If they point in the same direction, jump rope. So the whole idea is you got U-joints in there, so you want the angles to be opposing. 3 degrees down on the engine, 3 degrees up on the differential. And how do you check that? I mean, the best way to check is with the drive shaft out, unfortunately. And you get an angle gauge, and with the drive shaft out, the output shaft on the transmission's got a perfectly flat surface. You can put an angle gauge on that and get a good read on what the angle of inclination is for the engine and transmission. And then the same thing on the differential. It's got a flat surface. You just put your angle gauge up there, and there you go. You get your angles. So okay, so that's the pinion angle. Let's jump into some alignment, because everybody always asks about alignment, and alignment is really super important. Let's see. Okay, there's a fuel cell. Now, to understand alignment, you have to understand what it does. There's actually 3 things: camber, caster, and toe. And camber is the tire tips outward at the top, that's positive. If it tips inward, that's negative. Now, caster is if it tips backwards, it's positive, and that's what we want. We want a lot of positive caster. So here's the 3 elements. There's negative camber would be tipped into top. Positive camber would be tipped out at the top. Toe in is exactly what it says. It's pointing inward, and toe out is pointing outward. And you always either have to have toe in or toe out to make the car track well. And then caster, the negative caster is if the strut leans forward, that's negative caster. If the strut leans backwards, that's positive caster. Positive caster is what you want. If you had negative caster, what would happen? Have you ever had a shopping cart where there we go back. Have you ever had a shopping cart where you're rolling along and one of the wheels keeps vibrating back and forth? Well, that's what happens when you don't have enough caster. You lose the caster and the wobble. Well, the same thing would happen with your wheel. So, I mean, I love caster. All my Mustangs put absolute maximum caster in. Doesn't matter if it's different side to side. All the caster will take, it goes in there for a lot of reasons. One, I mean, it just helps the front suspension geometry a ton. It gives you great straight line stability. So when we're talking about, we've got an alignment guide. I'll hold that up there. You can actually download this in the Kenny Brown Speed Therapy Society resource section. That's going to be in there.
And Kenny, that's on the Kenny Brown Performance or Kenny Brown Speed Therapy Society Facebook group. It's important that they know where to get it. It's on our Facebook group. Okay,
Kenny Brown Speed Therapy Society Facebook group. It's in the resource section. You can download it and you have it for yourself. But basically, I mean, it's pretty much the same. There's always the street and track. And I'm going to go through the street setup for Fox SN95. I like it around -1 degree negative camber in the front. Maximum caster. And then for toe, I like toe out. Not a lot, just a little, 1/16 of an inch total toe out, or -0.25 to -0.3 toe out. Why do I like toe out? Because what it does, it helps the car turn in. It gives you great turn in when you go into a corner. For the S197s, we'll go a little bit more, maybe a degree and a quarter. But again, maximum caster, all the caster will take, and then that little bit of toe out, 16th toe out. And then on the 550s, I actually take a little more, -1 to -0.4. And then again, same toe out. Now, on going back to SN95 for the IRS cars in the back, I like to run minus 1.2 degrees negative camber. That seems to work really, really well. And then instead of toe out at the back on IRS car, you toe in. So toe out at the front, IRS, toe in at the back. And the same thing for the 550 cars, minus 1.2 negative camber, and then toe in. Now, when you get to the track, I mean, typically, how much camber you run at the track all boils down to, there's a lot of factors involved. How sticky your tires are, the spring rates you have. And the thing is that what I tell people is I'll give them a starting, but you really need to use your parameter to figure out how much camber you need or don't need. Typically, now on my cars, when they go to the track, they're going to have negative 2.5 on the hot side. If it's a clockwise track, negative 2.5 on the left side and negative 2 on the right side. And then from there, then we start working on using, well, first we use the parameter to get our tire pressure set. Once the tire pressures are set, and we'll look at the temperatures to get the camber right. I like about around 10, 15 degrees warmer on the inside than the outside. Always run a little bit of negative camber, and keep adjusting the camber in and out until you're running that in that range. If you got more than 20 degrees difference inside to out, then if it's 20 degrees hotter on the inside than the outside, you need to take a little bit camber out. That's by standing the strut straight up. If it's about even, you need to drop a little camber in, negative camber in. So that's kind of the alignment specs. And then the only way to tell it on track is to use a parameter and see what the tires are telling you. And that's what we every car, like I run. Of course, if you've got like soft factory springs, it's probably going to take more negative camber because the car is going to roll so much. The Mustang has what's called a positive roll front suspension, which means the more the car rolls, the more the front rear wheel wants to go positive. And we just saw positive is not what you want. So that's why we add extra camber, so when it does roll, the tire comes flat. But if you're running like factory springs, it's probably going to roll a lot more. And the thing is you really don't want to get beyond 3 degrees negative camber. I've talked to people that run 3.5 degrees negative camber, and it's like, that's not right. A lot of tire manufacturers don't like that, one. Secondly, when you're going down the straightaway with that much negative camber, I mean, you're missing a whole big portion of the footprint of the front tires when you go to brake. So, I mean, you don't have a lot front tire to brake. That's why I like it in that 2 to 2.5 degrees negative camber. So that's so go to the Kenny Brown Speed Therapy Society private Facebook group resource section, and you can download that for yourself. Okay, moving right along. Let's see, what do we got? Oh, I think we got. Let me pull up my my PowerPoint. Okay, we did fuel safe, we did caster camber. Now, Hydroboost. Like I was telling you on Roy's car, I mean, Hydroboost would work sometimes, it wouldn't work sometimes. Now, what is Hydroboost? Okay, back when they put the 4-valve motors in the SN95, the motors were so wide they couldn't use a normal, vacuum-based power brakes. So what the Hydroboost is it actually use the pressure from this power steering pump. A power steering pump not only drives the power steering, but it also is used for power brakes. And that's what this whole mechanism up here, that's the Hydroboost. Well, when it works good, it works good. But in Roy's case, I mean, it was really spotty. Sometimes it would work great. Other times he would have steering and no brakes, and then he would have brakes and no steering. So that's why we decided to just get rid of it and put him on full manual brakes. He had already taken the ABS out a while ago, thinking that might be the problem, but it really wasn't. So in switching over to manual brakes, there's a couple people that have like adapter kits or conversion kits to manual brakes. The problem is with all the kits that were out there is this. He has the my Pro 4R race brakes on there which are really serious brakes. Everybody that's put these on their car absolutely loves them. It's a true full-on racing brake. You're not going to find anything better for the price. It has just about all the same features, or most of the features that like a Brembo GTR would have. That's like, I think, $8,700 an axle set. But it's really cool. I mean, it's a really great brake setup. Big advantage is that actually, even though it's four piston to make it lighter, and then we also go ahead and lighten the caliper even more. And then we use the same brake pad that we use on our 6-piston race calipers, the exact same brake pad profile, except the difference is we put a 25 millimeter brake pad on there, which means it's just about an inch thick front brake pad. So you can just imagine how long a front brake pad will last if it's an inch thick. And then also the rotor, the rotors are like 7 pounds lighter than a normal rotor, the racing rotors. Anyway, because of this, we couldn't use anybody's kits because they have the wrong master cylinder. So what we did is we got together with our friends at Bear, and they put us together they call it their Reman. I can't remember exactly what they call it, but this is a full-on fabricated master cylinder. And it's a really nice piece where, most of the master cylinders out there are like plastic. This is actually aluminum. Even the little screw caps on here are aluminum. So it's a really, really nice piece. So we got that in the size that Rick thought would be the best for the Pro 4Rs. We modified the pedal to give it like a 7-to-1 ratio, and then we plumbed it in. Now, because we lost the regular brakes on the pedal, we lost the brake pedal brake light switch. What we did is we went to a pressure type, and we just kind of plumbed that in, so the brake switch is now pressure driven. Now, because this is the same size cylinder all the way through, where a lot of the OE master cylinders are maybe 2 different sizes. Because of that, we don't need as much fluid in the rear brakes. So for that, we added bias adjustment. Now this controls the amount of fluid that goes to the rear brakes. So in the beginning of the race, we're going to have him, run quite a bit of rear brake because he's got a full fuel tank. He's got lots of weight in the back. But through the race, as the gas burns off, then he's going to start dialing some of the rear brake out, because if you got too much rear brake and the back's too light, and when you stab the pedal, the back of the car will either get loose or it'll just spin around. So you have to kind of work at it, but that's how we adjust the brakes bias. This is through a liquid. As the brake fluid comes through, it's valved down or up, depending on how much rear brake we want. So I'm clicking buttons here. So Hydroboost, I guess if you got any questions, please send them in. And before Carrie butts in, I'm Kenny Brown, and this is not Speed Therapy. This is Cars and Coffee with me, where I'll be answering questions. I've got some good questions coming up, and we'll be answering more questions coming in. And then we'll talk about the Transforming Driving Experience workshop that's coming up. I think it's next week already. Gosh, how time flies. And we just, for those that maybe haven't been with us for a while, back here is my old toolbox. And the reason I keep it around, that's been with me for like 50 years. And it's been just about every major racetrack in North America. So it's something I'm well attached to, and I still use it every day. And the squiggles on the board behind me, well, that was from the last couple of weeks of the Speed Therapy Academy, we just graduated our second class Thursday night. The last couple of weeks, I teach all about the car and all the systems, and then we get down to how to make the car work, cause and effect, things to do, tuning, adjusting. And then in the last little bit, I do virtual driving coaching, where guys will send in their in-car videos, and we'll go through and do some virtual driver coaching. And this is some of the diagrams I had for some of the trickier turns. And the the best way to go through that. So let's see. Am I up to? Oh, questions. I forgot questions. We got some great questions. Okay. Yeah, you got some great questions that were sent in. Again, if you got any questions this morning, send them in. Will wanted to know suggestions for two-piece rotors for 0304 Mach 1 Cobra factory calipers, slotted only. Well, slotted, the only rotors we carry are slotted. We only have slotted rotors. In fact, we have specific part numbers at Bear so that all our brake kits only come with slotted rotors. And the reason for that, I mean, you need slots so that you can clear brake dust. Also, when the brake pad gets hot, you get a little bit of gas built up between the pad and the rotor. And if you don't have slots, it seems to build up at the back. And that's why I don't know if you've ever, if you don't have slotted rotors, I don't know if you've ever, been on the brakes for the weekend and take your pads off and notice a kind of a wedge that we're wearing unevenly. The front's wearing more than the back. Well, that's because of the gases that build up in the back. So slots let the gases out. Never, ever use drilled rotors. I don't use drilled rotors for anything, right? Because I can tell you it doesn't take a whole lot of heat for drilled rotors to crack, and they always crack at the holes. It's unconditionally, absolutely guaranteed. So we only use slotted rotors. But getting back to your question, the question is actually, yes, we do. We've got two-piece slotted rotors for the front and the back. And the two-piece slotted rotors cool so much better than standard rotors. With the two-piece, the center is aluminum, which means it doesn't transmit heat into the bearings or wheels as much as a standard rotor. And for the, let's see, it's like $645 for the front for the pair and $595 for the pair in the rear. So, I mean, if you want us to get you some, give us a call Monday, and Rich will fix you up. So, yeah, we do have two-piece slotted rotors. And also, we got great brake pads. And I picked the brake pads for customers based on the heat range that they're operating in. We're going to do a brake workshop here coming up at some point. But, getting you the right brake pad compound is really, really important in track driving. You don't want to use a street pad on track. You don't want to use a track pad on the street. And when we get to the brake workshop, we'll talk more about that. We can get you fixed up with really, really nice brake pads. We switched our track people to a different brake, I think a year and a half ago, and it's going really, really well. We can get them pre-bedded, so you don't have to waste a whole session getting your brakes bedded, and they seem to be a lot friendlier on rotors than the Hawks we were using. The Hawk is a really good race pad, but for track days it can be a little rough on rotors. So we've got a whole different brake pad system now. So there's your answer. Slotted rotors, absolutely, for 0304 Cobra, and that's the one we're talking about with the two-piston PBR caliper, which was on the Cobras. Okay, Herstifer wanted to know suggestions on clutch and flywheel for a 550, as well as a short throw shifter, and what else to do when trans is after replace the clutch. Well, I tell you, there is a lot of really good performance clutches out there these days. The thing that you want to steer towards is an organic clutch. It's simply because it's a lot easier to let out and let in. If you get some people just think they have to have a racing clutch. So they've got racing clutches in their track cars, and it's kind of a chuckle watching them try to get their car in the trailer. Because of the racing clutch, it's a light switch. It's either off or it's on. So, you can't really slip the clutch to get up into the trailer. So I would go to an organic clutch, and I would be sure that they get both single and twin discs for a stock motor, then single disc should be good. Just make sure whatever clutch you're looking at is good for at least, 450, 500 pounds of torque or horsepower. And that should be well within the 550. Or, you could go for a twin disc in organic too. That would be more than you needed. The other thing to do is aluminum flywheel or a light and steel flywheel. Anytime you can reduce rotating mass the engine's going to spool up faster. I mean, it just makes sense. If you got this great big heavy weight and it's on a crank and you're trying to turn it, it's going to take a lot of effort. But you take half the weight out, and it's going to be a lot easier to turn. So aluminum flywheel, also aluminum drive shaft. That's more rotating mass that you can get rid of. And then have a good look at your release bearing and make sure it's still good. That's the time to do it. But outside of that, that's pretty much it. You know, organic clutch, either one single disc or twin disc, and then a lightened steel or aluminum flywheel, and then aluminum drive shaft. As far as shifters, I feel your pain. I just hate the way the MT82 transmission shift. I mean, I don't like them at all. What we've been using with great success is the Barton shifter. And the reason we've gone to that is the entire shifter mounts to the transmission. Part of the shifting issues with the S197 and 550s is part of the shifter mounts on the transmission, and the other part mounts on the body. Okay, so think about this. If you're driving really hard, what's happening? Engine is torquing around. So if the engine is torquing around, that means the transmission is torquing around. So when you go to shift, you know, at what point of the torque are you shifting at? So that's why it's important to get a shifter that has all of the mechanism mounted on the transmission. And, you know, the Bartons are great. We use them in all the cars I build. I mean, it's like a toggle switch. I mean, bang, bang, bang. It's got a lot of fun to drive. So there you go. You know, you shop around. I mean, we don't really sell clutches, so I don't have any particular brands in mind. I do know there's a lot of good ones out there. Ram. Let's see who else has the spec. Anyway, I mean, there's good ones. I would just check around and see which one you want to like. Okay, and let's see now. Bert wants to know thoughts of putting the 390 gears in a manual 2002 Mustang GT with a 4.6. I mean, gear choice it boils down to how you're using the car. I mean, it's to give you an example, when we doing like real race cars, like pro race cars, when we can change the transmission gears, change the rear gear. What we're looking for is we want the rear gear that is going to be so that the transmission is the engine is just below red line at the end of the longest straight. If it's getting to red line before that, we're going to drop the ratio down. If it's not getting to it, we're going to change the ratio. So we're looking for the ratio to be the engine maxing out, just not quite maxing out at the end of the longest straightaway. And typically what we'll use is 373 is something we use a lot. Now on the SN95s with the 6-speed in the Cobras, we'll go to a 410, which works really good in that combination. All our S197s, we run 373s. So, I mean, 390 is right in that ballpark. You just need to figure out, what you're trying to achieve, and is it going to impact your top speed or your fuel economy? That's the other thing too. But I mean, 390 gears are fine. It's like 355, 373, 390, 410, anything in that range, depending on what you want to do, is okay. And then also we use torsion differentials, torque sensing, just simply because it's mechanical. There's no clutches. So we've talked about that, I think, a few weeks ago. So that when it's torque sensing, which means it's going to figure out which tire has the most grip, and it's going to bias torque to that tire. So there we go. Okay, now probably, do we want to do questions, Carrie, or do you want to talk about what's coming up?
Well, I think that we should probably talk about what's coming up. And also, this is the time right after we finish talking about the speed or the Transform Your Driving Experience workshop. We will be going into questions. So if you have any questions, add them to the chat right now. How many of you, I'm just curious, how many of you have attended Kenny's Transform Your Driving Experience workshop? I'm assuming many of you have in this group. It's a pretty cool workshop. I think the people that haven't attended, the people that have would tell you it's definitely worth the price of admission, which it's free. So, but anyway, Kenny shares a whole bunch of information. Again, this Transform Your Driving Experience workshop is this coming Monday, and you must register. This year this session, we're going to have it on Zoom and also a telecast to our Facebook page. It will be on the Speed Therapy Society Facebook group page. So make sure you register. There will be a link in the comments, and also you can find it on the kennybrown.com website. Ken, why don't you go to the next page, and that will kind of talk a little bit about, I'm going to take this banner off here. Let me see where I am. There we go. Take that off. Okay. So anyway, Ken, I don't know if you want to chime in here, if you want to just drink your coffee and let me do the heavy lifting on this.
Yeah, I got some coffee, so I'll just drink. It's cars and coffee, so I'll just drink my coffee.
Okay. Anyway, Transform Your Driving Experience workshop. It's 4 days this time. First day is going to be, Kenny's going to be covering the first critical steps to maximizing your driving experience. And that's pretty important. A lot of people miss that. Day 2 will be building your performance platform. And many of you who have been through the Speed Therapy Society Academy or Speed Therapy Academy. I'm mixing up everything today. Speed Therapy Academy will know what those 5 performance platforms are. Day 3 will be dialing in your car for maximum performance. And day 4 is refining your driving techniques and car / track prep tips. This is very valuable information for anybody that does performance street driving, does on-track driving. We even have people in there that are in the NASA series that are doing some serious racing. So it's a good thing to join. Again, it's Monday, August 23rd, and Brad is adding the link to the comments area. So you can click on that, or else you can always go to kennybrown.com, and we will have information on there as well.
Okay. You want to go to the last slide?
Yeah, let's just go with that real quick. Now, I don't want you to get this confused with the Transform Your Driving Experience workshop, but our fall session for the Speed Therapy Academy is starting September 14th. So if you've been thinking about that in the past, contact me or else go onto the kennybrown.com website and you will see a link there to join. If you need to talk to somebody about it, just give me a call and we can chat about it. Again, it starts September 14th. That's about, I think, 3 or 4 weeks away. So, and what the difference between that and the Transform Your Driving Experience workshop is Kenny takes it up about 10 notches from what he teaches in the workshop. And he really teaches how to take your car to the next driving level. So you learn how to do it. In the workshop, he talks about why to do it. Okay, so that's enough of me gabbing, I guess. I think we're ready for questions. Let me see.
Well, I have a question. Do we have any of our Academy alumni out there this morning?
We sure do. Why don't you make a note who's out there? I know I saw Ben out there. There's also from the previous Speed Therapy Academy, I saw Brian West. I think Joe Johnson was there. It looks like Paul Dondero. There's a ton of them there. So different people that have joined and gone through the Academy. Let me get back to the comments here. So we have some questions coming in, Kenny. Oh, Steve Smith says he attended 2 of the previous Transform Your Driving Experience workshops. That's pretty cool. It's worth it. I think Joe Johnson, who is one of our alumni, it was Cliff Glidden, who was one of our alumni, said sometimes he needs to hear what Kenny says 4 times in order to really pick it up and apply it. And that's so true. I'm sure, Steve, that's probably why you watch it for a second time. So anyway.
I think any of our alumni of the Academy can tell you it's well worth the investment in time. It's 16 weeks, Carrie?
Yeah.
15, 16 weeks.
Yeah.
Tuesday and Thursday evenings.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
I go through a lot. We call Tuesday evening immersion. So we really take a subject deep. Okay, what about our question today?
Okay, let me see what we have here. We don't have a lot of questions, but we do have some comments. And let me go back. Tim Tomasak is on today, and he is in the Michigan area. He's from Southeast Michigan, but it's a Woodward Dream Cruise Day. world's biggest rolling cruise and car show. We've been there a number of times. That sure is fun. I know Brian West is up there from the Academy. He's doing some driving events and also involved in that. So that's always a fun event. Speaking of that, what are we doing in Indianapolis, Ken, that kind of mimics these Woodward Dream Cruise? Do you remember?
Yeah, we're actually, one of our friends is putting together Cruise Indy, and it is September 18th. Is that right, Carrie?
Yeah, September 18th, Saturday, September 18th.
Morning, and there's going to be kind of like a big car show. Everybody, drive their cars, and then there's kind of like a loop that they drive around, and then there's going to be an after party with all kinds of stuff. So we're actually going to make an attempt to come to you live from that event Saturday morning, the 18th. So fingers crossed everything will work. We've never done anything like this before. So, and you know how great we are with technology. So we'll see how that turns out.
What I think is interesting about Cruise Indy is that it is, he's trying to create, obviously he'll never create what Woodward Dream Cruise is, but he really wants to create something like that in Indianapolis, up and down Meridian Street. And that's the main street that connects north to south Indy. So it's kind of a cool event to get involved in at the beginning. If you're in town that day, September 18th, please join us at the Cruise Indy. Let's see. Is there
any information on where it is?
That's a good point. I'm sure Brad can look up cruiseindy.com, Brad, and put the link up. Again, cruiseindy.com. So it's he'll be adding the link shortly if he's listening to me. Okay, the other thing, Angie Parrish is here, and she was very happy of what you talked about today. Let's see. I'm trying to go see where my questions are. Rory Merck, sorry, Rory. I'm having trouble with my words today. He has a comment. He said he has found doing a Sagna pump upgrade on the Hydroboost is almost always a must over the Ford units. Have you heard of that one, Ken?
No, but that's good information to have. Appreciate that.
And let's see. Brad has a comment. A 3.9 gear is a bit taller for a big track. We use a 3.9 in a 2000 Mustang, but we run on 2-inch taller tires. So that's his personal car, not the Kenny Brown cars.
Yeah, that's a good point, because your rear end ratio is also directly proportionate to how tall your tires are. If you've got a really short tire, then you go to a 390 and it's going to be almost the same as going like a 410 or a 430. So if you got a really tall tire, you can use a deeper gear. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay. We also have a couple questions from Paul Dondero. I'm not sure if this is a comment or a question. Hey, Kenny, at Blackhawk Farms, just got finished our first session. Car works as advertised. Just drove through Group 3 with our little V6. Woohoo, Paul. That is great news. And Paul has the K-Link on the car.
Yeah, he's got AGS 4.5.
Yeah. Actually, Paul is fitted out. He has our front grip kit, the Kenny Brown front grip kit, the Kenny Brown grip kit 2, which includes Kenny's innovative K-Link. He also has I believe he has the Bear Pro 4Rs, and he also has Forge Line wheels along with cooling and aero. He's got everything, and it's a V6. He calls his car Rodney Dangerfield.
He's a V6, and he just runs away from the V8s on track, because it's all about corner exit speed, and it's all about speed is in the chassis, and we'll talk about that. And it also, are we doing another private intro on the K-Link coming up here soon?
Yes, that will be the private intro. Will be the third week in September. I'm guessing, I don't have a calendar, but it's a Wednesday. So we are going to start doing third Wednesdays workshops. So September will be on the K-Link, and October will be on brakes, mini brake workshop. We'll be posting that probably after we get through the Transform Your Driving Experience workshop. Rory has another comment or question. Do you know what would be required firewall-wise when using a fuel cell in the spare tire if you are running a hatchback, or or it's an open air to driver as I ran into this in my drag wagon?
It kind of depends. I think it depends on the sanctioning body. A lot of sanctioning bodies have different regulations, but I mean, a firewall could be as easy as just a piece of aluminum, just kind of either screwed in or pop riveted in. Now this is steel said, what is it? Hatchback. Yeah, hatchback. That kind of makes it more difficult. You probably just have to build an aluminum, kind of wall, and just have it come up to the hatch. That should be okay. And again, it depends on the sanctioning body. If you've got a fuel cell, that might not be a problem. But yeah, I just don't know. Every sanctioning body has different rules. So I check with the rules, and then if you need something for a firewall, just get some sheet aluminum and put it back there. Okay.
Okay, so this is last call for questions. We have a few left, but if you have any questions, please add them to the comments and Kenny will answer them. Let's see, Rory, Ben Volmer, he says he's here and he just graduated from this last Speed Therapy Academy. He said, I can attest to its value. Really good stuff. So Ben just ran a Lemons race, his first race. So that was fun to hear his stories and watch his video. Brad also mentioned that if you can also reach out to him if you want to learn more about the Speed Therapy Academy. He's been through it a couple times. Brian West, the roads around Indy have to be better than Detroit. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's why American cars are so soft and squishy, is because of roads in Detroit.
And Colby has another comment on the Woodward Dream Cruise. He said, Ford is showing their new Explorer ST Track SUV at Woodward. Have you ever souped up an SUV, Kenny?
Actually, yes. A number, over the years, we did a series of supercharged Explorers. We did some supercharged Expeditions. And I don't just supercharge them. We do supercharge. We add power. We have to go through and improve the platform. The chassis, suspension, brakes, things like that. So we've done Explorers. We set up a Mountaineer for Lynn St. James for, I think it was one lap of America. Expeditions. What's the great big one? I can't remember what the big SUV is that Ford has, the V10.
The Navigator?
No. This is the monster SUV, the V10 one. I can't remember. When we supercharge those, we supercharge Navigators. Let's see. For I think 99 SEMA show, some guys I know at Ford came to me and wanted to know if I would do a minivan that was cool enough for Dad to drive for SEMA, and we did. I mean, it was a killer minivan. I knew the guys in a Thunderbird group, and back then the minivan had the 3.8 V6, and I was able to scrounge up enough pieces from the T-Bird group to put an Eaton supercharger on it. Man, we did everything. We had Coney shocks, we had 20-inch wheels, Recaro seats. This is back. We had two different screens, drop-down screens in the back.
That's before they were out there. The video screens.
So, I mean, it was a ball chasing down Corvettes on entrance ramps. So yeah, we've done a lot. Even some Durangos for a dealer. We did some supercharged Durangos.
Hey Kenny, maybe you should pull out some information from your archives on some of the SUVs you did. Maybe we can do that in a session.
See what I can find.
Yeah, and then the next question. Okay, Brad did put up the link for Cruise Indy. We are going to be there, or Kenny's going to be there. You don't want to see me, but Kenny is going to be there and doing the Cars and Coffee live on September 18th. So if you're in the area, join us. We'd love to get as many Mustangs as we could there. Ben Volmer, have you thought about doing a driving school similar to Bondurant or others? I would attend a class like that from Kenny.
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, it's a question that keeps coming up and coming up and coming up. The answer is yes, eventually. But right now we've got our plates really full. Going back in history, I think last week I talked about we used to do like 2 or 3 a year back in the 90s. We would partner with Muscle Mustangs magazine and Track Time, and we would sell out for our driving schools. And we used to do a lot of them, but it's a matter of bandwidth and time right now. But it's on. Everybody keeps asking. It's on the list. We will get there at some point.
So should I give my answer, Kenny?
Oh God, no.
Ben, we will be doing one next year. So it is on the schedule for next year. As long as we're not on any kind of lockdown or anything, we will be scheduling. Plug your ears again, Kenny. So I'd like to do more than one. We'll see if we can get them out on a couple different tracks through the United States. Anyway, and we're going to pull in. Herstifer is going to join us from Bulgaria for that too, Kenny.
Okay.
Okay. So here, Rory has. I'm not sure what this means because Do you understand that? Why he would add that? He asked you a question earlier. XP8 FTW.
XP8 was that like a Cougar or a Mercor? Yeah, I can't remember. It sounds really familiar. I just can't place it.
And then Brian West said it was an excursion.
That's what it was. That was a big. Yeah, we supercharged a couple of those. Yeah, we really had to modify the front of it to get enough air for the supercharger to feed the V10.
And then Rory, please post archives for the Explorers. We can definitely do that. Brad, did you get that note? I'm reading a note here. And then Ben Vollmer is in. He is in for your track event next year. And just to let you know that Speed Therapy Academy members get first priority for any events, driving events Kenny does. So make sure you drive that event. And Keith Ramsey also said it was an excursion. So if this is the very, very last call for any questions that you have for Kenny today, while we're waiting for questions to come in, I'm going to ramble on more about the Transform Your Driving Experience workshop that's coming up. When is it coming up, Kenny?
Monday.
The 23rd. It's a 4-day free online workshop that you can.
We just had a big flash here.
Wow. So anyways, a 4-day free online workshop. It starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you register. There's a link in the comments where you can register. We have, Kenny, I don't know if you know this, but we have about 450 people registered so far.
Wow.
Yeah, and we have 2 days left for people to register. So make sure you get in there. We're going to cut it off at 500. So if you're interested, make sure you register today. And let's see if we have any more questions here. Oh, Rory was talking about the Celine XP8 Explorer.
Oh, I know virtually nothing about it. My experience with Celine was 86 and 87. We won the 24 Hours of Canada in 86 with our backup car. And then I re-engineered the cars, the Celine R, the race cars for 87. And we pretty much dominated the series. We won all 4 national championships. So after that, Steve and I parted directions. I mean, he was famous and I was broke. So that's why we went different ways. But yeah, I mean, I ran that whole program for Celine in 86 and 87.
So speaking of that, Kenny, Rick Titus connected with you, wish you a happy birthday. By the way, it was Kenny's birthday Wednesday. So we had a great evening of scotch drinking. But anyway,
single malt scotch.
Rick Titus connected with you. I'm wondering if it would be good to have him on your show. What do you think?
Yeah, I think let's see if we can get him on the show sometime. I mean, Rick is a great guy. He's the son of Jerry Titus, the raced Trans Am back in the 60s, and he partnered with Steve in the Celine R cars in 87, and I was honored to give him his national championship that he so desired. So yeah, he's a great guy. He's been in media a long time. It's a really, really entertaining guy to talk to. He's really cool. So yeah, I mean, it'd be awesome to have him on sometime. So
just comment if you'd like to have that a little Celine session. So that would be kind of fun. Let's see. Oh, Brad says Rick wants to come on the show. We just need to get him scheduled. And Rick has his own show. Maybe next week we'll post up the link for that. I listened to it. It's pretty interesting. So Kenny, we're out of questions. You have 10 minutes Woo.
Well, I do a song and dance, but I don't sing very well, and my feet are sore. So I guess I'm going to have to. What else can I talk about? Oh, my toolbox.
We can end this session.
My toolbox. I've been to every racetrack in North America, and I've got this Formula One at Zandvoort up there because Formula One's going to be back at Zandvoort this year. I think in a couple of weeks. That's a really cool track, and that's the time. That was the preview, the premiere of the Cosworth V8 in the Lotus. That from that point on just kind of really kicked butt. It's actually signed by Keith Duckworth, who is the Worth in Cosworth. So that's why that's up there, because in tribute to Formula One being back at Zandvoort this year. So,
a couple other things. Le Mans is this weekend too.
Yeah.
So that's good. And one more thing, congratulations to the graduating class of the Speed Therapy Academy. The Thursday was their last night, and they took their graduation quiz and passed it with flying colors. So again, one more comment from me, and then Kenny, you can take it over. Remember to sign up or register for the 4-day Transform Your Driving Experience workshop, which is starting on Monday. Okay.
Well, with that, I think we're done. So if nobody has anything else.
Oh, we have one last question.
Okay.
Are you ready for that?
Yeah.
See, we always have a last one. That's why I like to waste a little bit of time at the end. Let's see. Annabus, are you going to be redoing your rear shock tower brace? And I'm assuming that's for the S197 since we have the SN95s out.
The answer is yes. We have a prototype, but manufacturing has been slammed. I mean, we're selling a lot of suspensions right now. Obviously, people love my suspensions, but it is in line. So the thing we ran into with 197s is something called production tolerance. We originally had one. It would only fit some cars. Some cars it was too short. Some cars it wasn't long enough. So we actually came up with an adjustable one just for that reason. So it's in line. We just haven't got to it yet. So the answer is yes.
Okay, Ken, here's one for you. You're going to go, ah. Ready? You should have had the Le Mans picture up.
You're right, Brian. Maybe I put it up next week.
Okay, we have one last question from Rory. He has, are all SN95 RS hubs 31 spline?
Hubs. The 31 spline is in the differential. And I don't think they're 31. Like in the IRS cars, an IRS cars, the 0304 had the 31 spline axles. I can't remember what the other one, maybe 29, something like that. I mean, it's been so long, I can't remember. But no, it's just the 31 splines is 0304. And the others, I think, are 29 or something like that. And in the older ones, anytime we upgrade them, we always go to a 31 spline torsion, and then get the axles for 0304 Cobra. 28 spline. There we go. I knew it was 20 something. So.
Okay, that is it for today. Okay.
Well, with that, we'll see what we can do to get Rick on here. We'll post up the link to his show next week. He's super entertaining. It's really worth the time. So that I wish everybody a good rest of the weekend. And for those that are attending the workshop, I will see you on Monday night. Everybody else, I'll see you next week. I have no idea what we're talking about next week. So if you have some ideas for subjects you want me to talk about, send them in through the Kenny Brown Speed Therapy Society private Facebook group. Got it all in.
Yay.
Okay, well, with that, everybody have a good weekend. Thank you for coming. I hope you learned something, because that's what I'm here for, is to teach you. So we'll see you either Monday night or next week.